Welcome to Thomas Brown Coaching. Today I'd like to look at strengths and how through utilising your strengths you can create a better future for yourself going forward in whatever you want to do. Whether it's a new project or a new business or something that you want to build for yourself that's separate to that. It can be anything really. Yesterday I looked at gratitude and how being grateful for things in your daily life can really fill you up and give you some energy to move forward. But looking at your strengths, it pretty much does something similar. You look at what you have, you look at your skill sets, your values, your level of ability and your talents. And I would say it's always really good, as with gratitude, to write these things down and to be aware of what you have. Often people look at weaknesses over strengths, what they don't have, the abilities they don't have yet. But it's always better to focus on your strengths, starting off anyway. It's always better to use what you have at the beginning. So let's say if you are, for instance, a creative person, or if you're a confident person, or if you're good at bringing people in and bringing people together, you use what you have essentially, and you use that to its full ability. So it's better to look at your talents and what you have within your disposal, and it's the things that we enjoy doing as well, the things that we've built up over time. You could even be good at, let's say, organizing events, and let's say filing things and planning, and everything anyway, everything positive or everything that you will need is probably best set around the plan anyway, which we'll be looking at in later videos. But I would say yes, so to write down your strengths, to be aware of your strengths, to have a good think about what your strengths are, and even how maybe other people might see it. It might be good to see, because sometimes we get lost in our own thoughts. It might be good to see what other people think your strengths are, rather than just focusing on what you think they are. Maybe you might have a hard time trying to see them for yourself. And yes, to write them down and to go through them and to see where they might fit in what you want to do next, and to focus on those things first. When something is within our capability, it's better to look at what we can do with that first, and then we can look at what comes next later. And around that, after we know what our strengths are, how can we utilize that in what we want to do? How can we apply that? For instance, if somebody wants to set up a business and they want to go onto social media, if someone is, let's say, more creative, they can find a creative way to express themselves. If someone's very visual things are like different pictures and different quotes are a good idea. If someone is more auditory, for instance, maybe a podcast might be better for them. If they don't like to put up their face on things, there's different ways to do that. You might have someone that's more social, that is good at engaging people, They might prefer the one-to-one element. You might have someone that will be more shy, that would prefer to kind of sit back and do it through social media, but in different ways, maybe not put out their face. And everyone has their strengths, everyone has their strengths. Sometimes we find it difficult to find what they are, and to look in. Sometimes it takes to look in deeper and to find those things. But once you're here, once you're a human being that's going through life, and you've gotten to a certain stage, you've had something that has gotten you there in the first place. That's usually your strengths. So yeah, be kind to yourself, when you're kind of looking in deep and you're trying to find these things. Be conscious that, you know, starting anything new, it doesn't have to be perfect. Progress is the most important. And yes, like, we might say that we have the strengths in it, but still we don't have enough information. So that just requires learning, to add to what you already have. So, and pretty much anything you want to learn is out there. It's just a case of you just wanting to find it, or being able to find it, and putting in the time to find it, really. And I would say the best way to do that is around planning and, you know, setting little goals for yourself of what stage you want to be on and what strengths you can use for that. So, like, it's best to start out with little goals at first, a little strategy. So start off with maybe over a week, to do one thing a certain day. And practicing these things does make you better at it. We'll always make mistakes as we go along. It doesn't really matter what strengths we have. Those mistakes are necessary at the beginning, and that's how we learn. Rather than let those mistakes kind of get us down, it's important to know that no matter who you are or where you're from, what you've experienced in life, you're always going to make a mistake. Everyone does. And getting up after making that mistake, and to get in the habit of getting up after making those mistakes is what will get you further and further, and to make progress with it. We often are very hard on ourselves, and to try and find those strengths, but yeah, they are in there. They're deep inside of you. We all have them. And just recognize what you do, what you would do in a day, what you would do in a specific scenario. Like, do you like helping people? Do you like things that are practical, that are functional? A lot of these strengths will usually come into what we like, but maybe also they're around what we don't necessarily like, but around, let's say, our work or our habits. And it's important to kind of, you know, I suppose, take note of those things as well. Some work that we do might be repetitive, and even though we mightn't like it, it has created a skill that we have attained from it. And it's important to note all those things. Yeah, very important to note all those things. So if you can write down what your strengths are and make a list of them, in your next project, whatever you decide to do, if you can apply those strengths, or even write down what you can use those strengths for, with regards to a project or whatever you want to do next, that's definitely a solid way forward. It gives you a kind of a broader picture in how you can use them and how you will benefit from your own strengths. And if there's something that you feel that is outside of you, you can either get someone else to do it, rather than get bogged down by you not being able to or feeling you can't. It's probably better to get someone else. Or you can try to learn how to do it if it's something that you're really passionate about. There's lots of different learning tools and online learning or different courses that you can take. So nothing is beyond you. Or you can find a mentor who can help you with that. So yeah, by getting a good grip of knowing what your strengths are, that's a good way to empower the soul. And empower yourself and realize that you do have worth and you do have what it takes to take it to the next level. So, yeah. And I hope you like this video. If you want to leave any comments, or if you would like to make a comment on what you'd like me to talk about next, that's no problem. My website is thomasbrowncoaching.com. I'm also on Instagram and I'm on Twitter as well. Yet to set up my Facebook profile properly and my LinkedIn, and that they will come shortly as the videos roll by. Until the next video, I hope you have a very pleasant day, and focus on your strengths, focus on what you can do, and apply it to your next project, and let's see how that goes. Until then, I hope you have a pleasant day, as I said already, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.